Hello, Steve at Trek 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, now the dust has settled. It's time to nitpick. So I watched a few videos and people's reactions, and most of it was positive. There's a few bitter, salty trekkers out there who just hate this new season no matter what they do or what they say, or doesn't matter how good it is or bad it is, they just hate it. It does seem to be their brand, and they do seem to be trapped in that sort of mentality. They just want to hate, and they can't appreciate or see anything good regardless. A couple of things. I already noted that they had that bad Worf falling asleep joke, which was very Orville, and I felt like it was just in the wrong place. Had they done that somewhere else in the series, it could have been really funny. But in that moment, especially when he was injured, that just doesn't make any sense. He would have been in pain. Like, you normally don't just nod off when you just survive this sort of thing and you've got injuries, and it just doesn't make any sense. It wasn't funny. So there's that. Whoopi Goldberg not being in the show, not so much a mistake, just something I feel like they should have done that. I mean, she was sort of wasted on the second season, and it would have been nice to have seen her here at the back, maybe not playing pool, but just serving drinks and that, and just basically being there. That would have been good. But the bigger things that didn't really hit me right away, the main thing, Q. What Q said to Jack, when Jack said, "Aren't you dead?" And he said, which I can't, basically, I'm disappointed, that, your generation thinks so linear. And I'm like, why didn't they make a universe joke? Why? All he had to say was, "Oh, that was in a different universe," something like that, or "That was a different timeline." That would have just fixed everything, and that's what a lot of us have been wishing for. That Q would just pop up, snap his fingers, and undo everything, or just establish that it's all the new Trek stuff is an alternative universe and separate from the canon universe, and it would explain a lot of things that are different in his own existence in this episode. So I really wish he'd just said, "Oh, that's another universe," or "That was another timeline." So that was a huge missed opportunity there. They could have solved all the problems Star Trek had in just one line, and it would have allowed people just to acknowledge and sort of view the series as different universes, and then not have to deal with the fact they contradict and so forth. So that would have been great. And the other thing, because there's really only two things that popped up that I sort of thought of, and I sort of heard other people say, like, renaming the Titan, and having the Enterprise not be one of the biggest, most advanced ships. So it's probably, the assumption is because it's the Enterprise, it's the flagship, but they wouldn't make an old ship a flagship. It'd have to be one of the biggest, best, most advanced ships. So I just think they could have just left it the Titan. It would have been fine. I don't know why they had to rename it. I mean, yes, the Enterprise, it's just saved the world again, but the Titan was part of that. So it seems like a bit of a slap in the face to the Titan. They could have had another ship that was called Enterprise. They could have renamed another ship called Enterprise. Did they state it was the Titan, or are we just assuming it was the Titan because it's the same class? Maybe it's just another class. Maybe there was an Enterprise in that class. I don't know. I only watched the episode once. And part of me liked that it was Enterprise, but I sort of thought it probably would have been better had they named it Picard, because then it would have been a tribute to him, just pointing out that it's another Enterprise. It's not as special, although his son is serving on the Enterprise, so it's, I get it, there's fuels involved, but I think they could have just left the Titan, and it would have been just as, wow, we're going back to the Titan, he knows the crew, he's been on there, that would have worked. Or having an Enterprise that was a different class of ship would have been an Enterprise, the current Enterprise. So I just felt they missed that there. So they missed a couple of things, like not having Whoopi in it, renaming the Titan, having Q not just, establish he's back because it was a different universe that he died in, different canon or something like that. He could have sorted that all out in one sentence. So I kind of thought that in the moment, but I was just enjoying the show too much to sort of look at that. And obviously there's a lot of people nitpicking, and some people are just picking out really stupid things. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's really not an issue. So I really only had a couple of issues, like three main issues: casting and then a couple of things, and the Orville joke. I mean, the Orville does some really bad, lame humour that undermines when they actually try and do quality science fiction, which they do manage to do at times. I do like the Orville. I liked each season, but each had issues, and I was disappointed by the last one. But they do these really cringy jokes, and the worst part is Strange New Worlds and Star Trek in general copies them. The worst part, that's what they sort of identify as Orville and Orville-esque, and that's what they copy to try and be like the Orville, and it's like the worst element to copy, and they do it badly. So yeah, so I just had to throw out my little nitpicks, because technically really only 3 of them really. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.